Welcome. My name is Orla McGreal and I am a Dublin-based accountant. As well as working as an accountant, I am also a LearnSignal tutor. In this video, we're going to go over the F3 examiners reports. These reports are published by the ACCA on their website and they are available to you for free. They look at the areas that the students found difficult in every exam. So in this video, I'm going to look at the December 2016 report and also the June 2016 report because these are the two most recent ones available to me. However, I do recommend that you go and look at all of them. In the F3 examiners report, the examiner has looked at section A and they selected the 3 questions the students had the most difficulty with. In both of the reports, it was very interesting to see that the students had the most difficulty with scenario-based questions, which demanded their practical application of their knowledge. So the 3 types of questions that they found the most difficulty with were questions which asked for them to apply practically the standard. So in December's report, it was IAS 16. So the students were asked to select the correct journal entry that was correct for IAS 16. It demanded that the student had a knowledge of the standard, but also a knowledge of double entry bookkeeping. The next was the correction of errors, to firstly identify the error and then select the correct adjusting journal. And then finally, suspense accounts. Again, another practical application of the knowledge. So it was a scenario-based question, as they all were. Scenario-based questions are very challenging for students because there's a lot of information. And one of the points that was highlighted by the examiner's report was that students didn't seem to be reading all of the information that was given to them carefully. So when you go into your exam, you need to read the information that is given to you carefully and then apply your knowledge of the standards or suspense accounts or double entry bookkeeping to the situation. I found a really great way during when I was studying was to think about this in practical terms. What would I do if this situation was my client? It's applying common sense to the situation. That was section A. Then there was section B, which was 2 long questions, which was about 30 marks in both papers. In this section, the students fell down in very basic areas again. As I said, in section A, students weren't reading the questions carefully. In section B, that also came through. So a lot of students didn't read the information that was supplied to them. And then as well as that, students weren't labelling their work carefully. They weren't writing neatly. So if the examiner can't read your paper, how are they supposed to give you marks? So careful, neat writing. The correct layout and format wasn't followed. So IAS 1, the correct layout of financial statements wasn't followed. There's usually a mark for presentation as well. So there was 1 mark for presentation, so it's important how you laid out your paper. Referencing was also very important, especially in the consolidated accounts. So in the consolidated financial statements, students were, say, writing down a number, a consolidated number, but they weren't saying where that number came from. So how you should lay out your paper is you should lay out your calculations. So calculation 1, 2, 3, 4. And then when you do your consolidated accounts, you can reference your numbers 1, 2, 3 or ABC, however it works, once it's clear. Make it as easy as possible for these examiners to give you marks. So basic things were a clean, neat paper, writing clearly. Another big problem that was identified was that students weren't titling the financial statements that they were preparing. This is a fundamental error. So if you're asked to do the statement of financial position, you must write statement of financial position for the date at the 31st of December for XYZ Inc. These are basic errors and you need to avoid them. As you read the examiner's reports, you're going to see the same themes come up again and again. You need to make sure that you Avoid making these mistakes because students make the same mistakes again and again. Avoid making these errors and you will have success in your exams. So the best of luck in your exam, and I hope to see you in the next subject.